So, good morning, welcome back. October and a good run up to Christmas. I've been watching some of your pictures and some of your trips you're going on. Just one thing I'd like to say is these trips, Ron, are very good. Try not to fall into the trap of doing tourist pictures. You're all very intelligent now at photography. You all are now seeing pictures. You're not looking, you're seeing, which is good. So you're noticing different things. And take if there are statues or artwork or anything that is done by someone else, as they say, as Margaret knows, they always say in the photography club, "Oh, it's just a record shot." No, find the angle, find the position, see, try and get to a position where the sculpture or the artist would love you to be, to see what's going on. And I noticed some from Lincoln. Oh, I forgot the name of the place now, where the statues were, or where Tony's horses, well, not your horses, Tony.
Doddington Hall.
That's it, Darlington Hall. Yeah, you see, I've been away from the country too long already. Yeah, there's some lovely things on there. Yeah, different angles, different points. Get down low, look in the face, look over shoulders, and things like that. And try and try. And I all want you to do me a favor. This is your homework for the next 2 weeks. I want you to find a photographer that you like. Now, it can be old, Cartier-Bresson, it can be the old one, Adams, anyone, Dorothy Ainge. Find a photographer that you like the work, okay? I want you to find a photographer, and then I want to just get an understanding of why you like that photographer. And then I can look at the structure and the techniques that that photographer uses, and I can often set you some challenges. Now, remember, there was a set of books I told you to look at and possibly buy. And one of the three books was called Steal Like a Pro. Can you remember?
Yeah.
And it talks about seeing other people's photographs or other people's artwork and putting your own spin on it. Your interpretation, your concept of what they're seeing and what you're seeing. And it's very difficult because we have, and I'm going to play a video today, which is quite shocking, about photography. And it's getting to the point now where we've all got cameras, everyone's got a phone camera, pictures are being taken all the time. So what sets you apart from the others? One thing I don't want to lose sight of, which is in one or two articles in Portugal at the moment, and that is that, photography is dead. It's not dead. It's dead for some people. It's dying. As I say, I'm going to play you this video later on in the class. And a lot of professional photographers are getting losing work, a lot of work. And they're saying the next 2 years, presently from 1970, I think it was 75 to now, or it was when I looked at the article a few years ago, only 40% of photographers survived. They're saying that could go down to as little as 15%. And I don't know whether you saw the news this morning, but especially for those doing the video, AI is taking over films, and they've made a film and a program without using any actors whatsoever. It was done purely in the studio with AI characters, and it was a comedy sketch as well. They did a comedy sketch and a documentary, and you couldn't tell. And they're saying that Hollywood will be dead within 5 years because you can make a film now, which you'll see. I'm going to show you some of this, and it's quite disturbing, without the need of anybody other than you and a computer. So, but I'll show you that at the end of the class. But yeah, find a photographer from the past, like could be present, could be still alive. And I missed that. Sorry, Margaret.
I've got one for you.
Oh, well, yeah, well, you save it then. Don't tell anybody else because they might pinch it.
Oh.
Got to steal it like a pro.
Go on then. Who is it apart from me?
Benessa Ilyes.
I'm glad you can say it. Okay, well, you have to put that in the WhatsApp, and I'll look up at that and look a little bit more into that. It's just to try and get me a feel of where you're going with your photography and what your direction is and who you like and who you may aspire to. Now, A lot of you might say, well, I don't, I just enjoy my photography, which is absolutely fine. But if you have got somebody, if you have got somebody you like, it helps me because I can tailor some of the classes to allow us to use some of their styles in giving you either challenges or creating work similar with a similar sort of feel to it. Okay, so here we go. So hopefully we've got Bob watching. Good morning, Bob. Hope you're enjoying your morning out. Let's go into Lightroom, and I'm going to show you what we have. I'm going to share my screen. One moment. And they've changed Zoom again, so I have to remember where all the controls are now. I think it's to move them. There we go. It should be. Can you now see my screen, Roger?
Yeah.
Yep. Can you all see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay then, because you're in charge, Tony. Over the next few weeks, there are new, as we say, there's been quite a few changes to Photoshop and Lightroom. Photoshop has gone the AI route more, and I say at the end of the class, I'm going to show you a video. Lightroom has added a few new things, but they've improved a lot of the existing. And for those that don't know, and I'm just going to get all my pens and that now because they've all changed. So it's a new panel for me. 1 second. I don't know whether you've all noticed, but we have a new button in Lightroom. Can you see it there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where?
And I'll explain more about that over the next few weeks and how it will help us and what we can do with it. And it's all to do with AI. It's telling you that there's been some AI modification to this picture, whether it be a mask or a dust removal or a HDR improvement or whatever. So if there's used anything on HDR, if you use any in AI, then it's going to be telling you, and you can click on that and it will show you the changes or the places where you made the changes. So it's a new button. So just so if you see that button, you think, what the hell that is, we'll talk about that in the next couple of weeks anyway. And I will cover all the new changes. Some that you may have already seen. The June updates were quite important because it was one of the big updates. But it was big, but it wasn't because they've just added a few things. The annoying thing is we use in Lightroom Classic, which is a desktop variation. I don't think many use Lightroom, do you? This is standard on your phone or on a laptop or mobile. It's not the classic where all your images are stored on your computer. They're stored on the internet, they're on the cloud. So if you have a cloud account and you've got 500 gig, you can stick all your pictures on there. But a lot of the good things have gone into Photoshop under the umbrella of Lightroom, into Adobe Camera Raw, and only in the beta version. So, it's why they're saying that the Lightroom editions when they are in the beta version of Photoshop and in Adobe Camera Raw. But there are some good things. They've certainly improved removing people. Can you remember we did that scene, I think it was one of Ron's pictures, where we kept trying to get rid of somebody in the marketplace and he kept putting other images in its place or reversing them around or doing some strange thing. They've improved that dramatically. I think they're using 553, but they're using another one now. And again, it's part of what I'm showing you later on. So we'll cover that. Okay, let's look at some photographs. Let's look at some critiquing. One of the things I'm looking on Linda's, and Linda, you may be able to tell me this. Don't forget, if you want to speak and I can't hear through Tony's, press the space bar down, I can hear you, okay, while you're talking. I noticed that I looked at these pictures and I looked at some of the others because you've sent this one before. You are cropping, like we used to say, poor old Roger, we used to call it the Rogerism, didn't we? Where you're just cropping for cropping's sake, pulling the corners in. I would suggest that when you crop, Linda, for a while, that you try and use the padlock on the right, where it is there, it says custom, and keep the same aspect ratio so that you're using your camera's viewfinder in your available image space correctly. Now, don't get me wrong, I think there's great times where I need to crop, and there's some I've cropped on other people's pictures. But I think sometimes if we're having a square format, we have a square format. If we're having a panorama, like in the pictures, and I've got to get used to swapping tools again, and I've got 3 screens on the go today. So on here, we've got a crop situation there, which is great. But when you crop this image here, I feel that you are bullseyeing that shot too much. The main area that we're looking at on that bird, and you'll see that at the moment where you've cropped the bird's midriff, the wing, the bottom wing, is on one of the PowerPoints. The eye is getting close to the PowerPoint on the right, but it's looking somewhere. And what do we always say about when you're getting objects that look? You want somewhere to look into. And if it's a vehicle, you tend to give it somewhere to drive into. So I felt that when I looked at this, Linda, and it's a lovely shot, you've done very well to capture this. I know there's been some changes, enhancements, but I feel that you've done really well with this, especially with the light. So the question is, do we give it space to look into? So that's why I looked at something in that region. You was back down somewhere here. I think, in fact, I can reset, go back to import. That's where you went on yours. So if I take off the crop tool, and I've got to get some new glasses, that's where you're going to, and I just feel it's just a little bit cramped. The other thing is you got a lovely reflection. Now the question is the shot a portrait shot or is it a landscape shot? Do you want, I mean, I don't know. And again, I'm going back to Margaret, and I know, Linda, you go to the photography club. I think Tony does, a few others. There's times when the things are in the way. And I've been to so many of these presentations, and that to George, and they say, oh, if only you'd have took one step back, and they fall off a cliff. If only you'd have walked 2 steps to the right, I'd have been stood in the river, So you take what you see, but bear in mind, when people are judging photographs, they're judging on the basis of what they want to see. And I never like that type of judging. I always say it would be nice if we could have a little bit more space at the bottom, rather than say, oh, take 2 steps back. And if you'd stood on a chair, and I don't agree to that. But I think you've done pretty well. And there's a little sharpness issue, but I think looking at the enhancements you've done, you've just overdone one area. The shot, if I remember rightly, I'm going to get a bit closer. You was just about on your limit on your shutter speed. You were just okay. So you were okay. A lot of you have got lenses with anti-vibration on, so a lot of the camera shake will not be there, apart from one of Roger's, which I was surprised, Roger, which I'll talk about that later. But I feel, and I don't know what anybody else is feeling, I feel that the shot works better with a little bit more space. Give it something to look into. I mean, even to the point you can put the bird fully on the third there, but then you've got a lot of water and a lot of bright space. But you could put a grad filter at the top and hold that in. So, question is, and I'm never right, as Roger will tell you, I'm going to put it onto Ash Original, a shot, and then I'll keep the constraints. The padlock is now on Linda, and then we can move this to where we want it to be. But I think a bullseye on that shot. You just want a little bit more space to the right. What do you feel, Linda?
Gary, so I'm having a bit of trouble hearing you because your voice.
Let me just bring this in a bit closer then, 1 second. Is that better?
Gary, my hearing aids are distorting your voice.
All right, okay. Okay. Let's have a look at this one. Now, I saw this, and I'll just get rid of some of these drawings now. This is going to be a bit tricky because it's a brand new panel, and I've got to get used to some of these new buttons on it. Right. I'm going to reset this one, Linda. That's your original shot.
Yeah.
That's how you took it. And granted, there are some changes on the right-hand side. So if I do before, I think I can't do it. Oh, because it's a D. I should be able to. That was your original picture. And that's where you sent it to. So why did you crop in tight, Linda? What made you like this one?
Just felt I needed to
There's,
emphasise.
there's a couple of things that go against this picture. I love the background. It's very artistic. But like I said earlier on with flowers and faces, you need somewhere to look into. Now, you can't see the middle. They're looking away from you. It's a shame. It's a shame that the poppies are pointing away from you. If they're pointing towards you, I think it would have been a stronger picture. But I do like the fact that you're in a big field. And it's a little bit like an isolation in that you're red poppies and I'm purple. And I think that there is a story in here, and it's a pity that you didn't see the face of these poppies, because it would have made it strong in the sense that it was like the poppies are making a statement. But I feel that your crop wasn't really justified. I think, I say it's a pity they weren't facing you, because you want to put them on the third. You could put them on the bottom third. Now, remember, when you put different positions, that's more of a dominant position. But I say they're pointing away. But I think, I mean, the background, everything is lovely. But it's just that the poppies are pointing away. And I think it just takes the edge off the shot. But I think the isolation of these poppies, you've done very well technically. You've got a great depth of field. I mean, it just looks like going on and on. And the nice thing about, I don't know what lens, I think, let's have a look what lens you've used. 231mm. Yeah, okay, telephoto. When you use a telephoto, you can compress the background in. And I think this has done exactly that. I think it's made a great job of it. And I think the background is just stunning, even to the point there. You've got to bring the story back into it. The story, I believe, what you took there was that all those poppies, red poppies, and you've got these two purple ones. So I see that as a story. Would that be correct, Linda?
Yes, yes.
Ooh. Would that be Tony? Is she saying yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Have I lost you all?
No,
No, we're still here.
Yes,
I've lost sound. Can you hear me, Tony?
I can hear you, yes. Can you hear me?
You're talking, and I can't hear a thing.
Oh, I don't know why.
I'll carry on, and then we'll try and find out why we've lost the sound. You can still hear me, Tony, can you? Put your thumbs up if you can hear me, Tony.
Yeah.
But I can't hear anybody from that end, not at all. Okay. I'll try and find out why I can't hear you lot.
What's up, Tom? What's up?
Tony's got his microphone on.
You can hear me now? Audio. That's on.
I'm just checking everything on here is okay. Do me a favour, Margaret, will you press your space bar and just say something?
Testing.
Yeah, you're talking. I've got no volume this end at all. Okay, I'll have to look into that when we...
Can you hear me, Gary?
I might have to have a break to find out what's causing this.
Oh.
Okay, I'll go back to the pictures. What you'll have to do, Tony, is keep putting thumbs up and I'll have to keep watching you.
Okay.
Okay. So, next picture. This was another one from Linda. So I'm doing Linda's first. Linda's original shot was that one. I'll just take off the crop. So that was Linda's picture. It's a great shot. I like it. I like the way you position. I know there are things to the right. Bit wonky horizon, I thought. Don't forget when you do your crops, you've got the angle tool which you can put across the horizon. So it squares it up. And it's very deceiving because you've got the pier, which as it extends out will change the line, so it makes it look like it's not correct. Now I looked at this shot and I said to them, I wonder how Linda took this shot. And I decided I reset it. And yep, there it is, it's on the wonk. So, okay, I could correct the angle. So it's correct. And then I looked at the foreground. And I looked at the sky, and I did like the fact, Linda, that you kept it reasonably high key. And if you look at your histogram in the top right corner, you'll see it's all into the highlights almost, but not quite into the whites. I ummed and ahed about this shot, and I looked a little bit further, and I looked at doing something like that. I just thought that there's an awful lot on the beach that you could use. I love the fact that you got the footprints at the bottom, walking from the bottom left corner. We always say read from the left. We always read from the left, going across. And I think I've stretched the highlights and the shadows, so we've got a bigger dynamic range. And I could go a little bit further, but I did this very quickly just to have a quick look at. One thing I did notice, and this is really good because we'll use this, Linda, soon. In the new Lightroom stroke Adobe Camera Raw, we have something to overcome this. And these obviously are dust spots. Now, I think these are dust spots on the lens, on the sensor, not on the lens. Because on the lens, you tend to get a different style of dots. But there's a lot of them. There's one there, one there, one there. There's an awful lot. Now, there already is something in Lightroom to overcome dots, but the new one is even better. You can do what's called an auto, and it will find them and tell you where they are without even having to go and look for them. So that's another good one. But I like this. I like the fact you've got a couple of people here as well. There's almost a picture with those people there, and I think it almost looks like Teresa there.
Teresa.
What's that one? Where's Teresa? Nowhere to be seen. Okay. But no, I like that one, and I think, I don't know about you, Linda, I wish we got the volume back on, and we might have to do a reset so I can hear you all speaking. I think that the image, what you've got there, is good. I'm going to just try something to see if you can say. Can you just say a few words, Tony?
1, 2, 3, 4. Do you hear me?
It's nothing.
No.
I can see the volume going up and down, but I've got no sound. Okay, I'll continue until we go further. Okay, squirrel. Nice shot. Square shot, not so sure. Is getting much on the third. There is definitely a colour issue on here. If you look at the squirrel, we've got this pink magenta glow. I wonder what has gone off. It's Margaret sent me a picture through. I think that this needs a little bit of help and correction. I'm going to find somewhere white I can do, or perfectly on the there. That's a bit better. There. Love it. I wasn't sure whether it was sharp, but it is relatively sharp. It's pretty good. You can see there is some noise in the background, which is fine. You shot it at 1250, which is fine. I'm looking what you've done. You've done no denoise. Don't forget there is a denoise available in the detail section, but it's not too much of a problem. The only thing that bothers me, if you look at the squirrel's face, my eye keeps going over to the left and to the bottom right corner. So the two areas that seems to keep coming up, that's 1 minute. New layout till I get used to it, sorry. Is this area here, and this is very bright in a dark area. So this dark area here, this is very high contrast. As a picture, I think you could improve this. So you could bring this from a 13 shot up to at least a 16 quite easily. And I think if you deal with this twig on the left, and even get a chance, you can remove this bit. And this bit down here, just darken a little bit. I think you've got yourself a stronger image. Not sure about the crop. Again, we're back to cropping. I've got to swap tools again. Let's have a look how you've cropped. Yeah, you see you've cropped again square. So I'm going to go back a shot and then bring it in. And even to the point, placement, that leaf is in the wrong place there. Squirrel, I'd put the squirrel possibly over there. Reset all the pictures. And let's have a look at it now. Yeah, I think like that, Linda, might be better. Then that twig on the left disappears a little bit on the top corner. You could lighten up the squirrel a little bit in the center using the masking tool. And you know, I do like a little bit when I've got something you want to focus on to just darken off the corners. But I like it. Yeah, 4 good images. Let's have a look at what else I've got. We'll go to Louise. There's some very interesting images here, Louise, and I'm going to just try once more to see if I can't get the volume. I don't understand why I've got no volume. I'm just looking through all the participants, and they're all on. And Tony's definitely showing. Don't understand that. Okay, I will come to Louise's picture. Yeah, this is Louise's picture. Great vision, Louise. There's 1 or 2 very well-known photographers that do a lot of this fine art photography using trees. You went to black and white, I believe. I did look at the colour version, and I thought there's some interesting colours, obviously with the sky. I thought I'd try something a little bit different. And especially with it being silver birch, I put a blue tone on it just to see what it looked like. And I thought it was quite interesting. And then I looked at a photographer that actually makes a living from selling tree pictures. And I tried to recreate very simply what they did. And it's quite interesting. Turn the lights off so you can see it. And you get like this split tone image. And it's very interesting. So I'll try and find the name of this person, Louise, and send it to you. I think it's a great shot. Notice you're using the iPhone. Absolutely brilliant. Do you know, Louise, and I say, I'm going to just, you have to put your thumbs up for a second, so I'm just talking to you. Do you know that in your settings in your iPhone, you can change it to RAW and different images and enhancements? Yes, you did. That's good then. I was reading an article on Apple was doing it, and it had been endorsed by someone that does a lot of street photography in America, mainly in New York. And some of the images from the iPhone were incredible, absolutely incredible. The only thing with the iPhone, of course, with anything like this, you don't always get full control over your depth of field. If you put it in portrait mode, it'll blur the background a little bit more. But in doing that, it doesn't work on a depth map. But I'm told on the new iPhone 17, it does. You can actually tell it to do a blurred progressive background. Now, when you use a portrait version on the iPhone, you'll notice that it changes. The image changes, it compresses and moves. And apparently that setting now is available on the normal photo, but you have to reselect it within all the settings. That's why I should be able to look in the settings. But if you're interested, who else has got an iPhone? Put your thumb up. Anybody else use an iPhone for pictures? 1, 2. There is some, I'll try and find some of the settings you can do for your cameras and put it into a bit of a notification for you to read, or PDF. And I did actually try and change 1 or 2, and I suddenly noticed that my pictures, not only they were better, but I had a better control over them, which is good. So it's not just a quick snapshot. Okay, let's have another look at Lightroom. Now, I say it's a pity I can't see and talk to you about these, Louise. This one, I love it. It's lovely, isn't it? And I would flip this, so I'd come from the bottom left corner, but that's just me. In one of the local articles from the University at Lisbon for photography, there was a competition, and we're back to AI again. And it just so happens that one of the curators from one of the places this picture was taken from knew the image because he was from there. And he'd done some changes to it. And some were just to like remove a no exit sign, which was fine. But he'd added things to the picture, and it disturbed this man so much that he said, I'm struggling to judge this. I'm going to judge it, apparently. And to bear in mind, I had to translate from Portuguese. He judged it, but he judged it down because he felt that they was trying to take away the essence and the feeling and of the place by adding props that really didn't warrant it, mainly because he works there. And it's a little bit like, you know, you buy a house, you put your furniture in, some people like it, some people don't. And he didn't like the fact that it added additional items to something and it changed the feel of the place. But I love this picture. I don't know whether it's a bit like if I was to flip it horizontally. I love flip horizontally. So it comes from the left. So I don't know. We always tend to say, read from the left. That's one way. Now, as I said, it might not. I don't know. I like it that way as well now. But it's a lovely picture, great leading shot. He did exceptionally well with the lighting. And again, the iPhone 14 did very well. Great sight on this one. Love it. You'll notice I changed the colour slightly. That was your original one. Oh, I say it was. There was a couple of changes. It's a JPEG, so you may have made some changes. I don't know. Again, I weren't sure about the crop, but the crop is because it's JPEG, there's no change. I did actually see, I've got a couple of books, one on street photography and one is on different things like this. And it shows you the pictures of fish like this. And I looked at it and I thought, colour profile. And I literally looked at their colour profile and added that to it. So the mackerel, I think they're mackerel, has got the blue skins back because they tend to be silvery blue. I could be wrong. It might not be mackerel, but they look a little bit like them. So I just changed the colour. That's the original colour. So if I turn the light out, I'll just dim the light a bit. And that was the colour I changed it. It just added that little bit of interest to the fish. But it's a great spot, well spotted, and it's good when you walk around the markets, you can see all these different things, but I think you've captured that very well. Now this is where I wanted the sound on, because I wanted to know a little bit more about this. Now I think this is the picture you're saying you're not sure about. Let me just see if we can't get the sound back on. I'm going to mute everybody, then bring everybody back on. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, on that one.
I'm trying to see if there's anything that's happening in my end. First time back and we have a little problem, but no worries. Checking one more last thing. Right, you just try and unmute yours.
Me. I did.
Can you hear me?
Louise is trying to talk. Yeah,
Can you
I
hear me,
really
Gary?
don't understand this. I'm very sorry. I can't hear any of you, but you can hear me, can't you? Of course.
Yeah.
You can hear me though, Tony, can't you? Yeah, you can. Okay. I don't understand why my end's muted. I've unplugged the speakers, plugged them back in again. It's not on here, and I don't understand why it's not letting me do it. I'm just checking one last thing. No, according to that, microphone's going up and down, and when you speak, it's going up and down, but I've got no sound. Okay. I'm looking at this picture, Louise. I'm going to try and get your space on as well while I've got Lightroom open. So I can ask you some questions on this picture. Just I'm going to move all your face onto the screen at the side. Right, I've got Louise over there. There we go, so I can see you. So Louise, from what I can see, this is the picture that you weren't sure about. Is that the correct? Thumbs up. I can't hear you. Don't forget. Yeah. Okay. You can see the screen now, Roger, can't you?
No.
No.
No screen. Oh dear, a few little issues.
I've
this morning with the
unmuted.
new Zoom.
No, that doesn't work, does it?
He's got
You come back on? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's come back on. Okay. I'll put that over there. I want to just make sure I can see you a lot. Okay, we're back on. Okay, it's so difficult when I can't speak to you. I might have to come back to these next week, do it very quickly. I can understand the concept of what you did in the sense that you've got 3 doorways, excuse me, leading on, and you've got the shadows of the fence. And you get this zigzag pattern leading in. As you say, I'm not sure what is in that picture. I'm trying to see the story. I believe I can see the story, but it's not coming over, and it's just not, I'm just not enjoying it. From a point of view of a crop, I'll unlock this a second. Do we turn it into something of a doorway? Remove the greenery. Yeah, remove the greenery. I think it wants to be cooler. I've just closed that off. I'm going to go to black and white, and I'm going to make it look a little bit more sinister in the sense that, and this is just very, very quick off the butt. I want to make it look grungy a little bit more. I think, let's have a look at cropped on that, close that off. I think using those dark lines and grunging this up, I think you can get more out of the picture, yes. I think that looks a little bit more sinister. As for all the greenery, if you take the colour out, it's not intrusive, the colour doesn't add anything to it. The question is, where does this lead us? I think it would have made it interesting, and this goes back, and I might use this, Louise, if there was somebody very strange or half a body in the bottom doorway, as if you shouldn't be in there. I think there's a story in there. So there is a shot here. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to change it for next time I see you, and we'll see how you all feel about it from there. But I think it's going to be a case of working with the contrast and the lights. Pick up the highlights in places and give it that little sinister look, I think, because I don't know where it is, but it's very interesting. Okay, let's go and have a look at the next ones then. Margaret. Well done. Yeah, I like the concept of the slow shutter speed. I don't know what speed it is yet. It hasn't woke up. Come on. There we go. I take it, Louis, it's JPEG, so there's no image. It's a shame I didn't, you've got, because you sent it as a JPEG, I haven't got all the metadata to have a look at what speed, but it looks very good. It's interesting that the shutter speed was such that it was enough to get that misty effect, and yet you've got this lurch of water. I'll get the drawing pen up. You've got this lurch of water going up and then down here. So it was long, but enough to get some misty sort of effect over the water. But you've actually captured a small swell, which is there. And you can just see it's come off there, just a little bit out there. But it's a great placement picture. I'm not sure about the colours. A little bit warm colours, but that may be because when you convert it to a JPEG, it's punched up the colours a little stronger. I love the fact that the houses stand bright against a darker contrast background. So I'm not sure about this blue sky, but I think that's because you've done it to a JPEG. But I think the concept of it is really nice. Would I like to see a little bit more sea? Maybe, but I think it's a very good shot. Now, this is an interesting one. The next one, you could almost put a caption on this because he's parking it on his head. Just get rid of the drawings. Was this? I think there's a place near Ollerton that do quite a lot of this on one of the hills there. I'm not sure where this one is, but you get some great images. It's so close to his head, you know. It's almost like he's landing on his head there. And you've caught a lot of the soil and the different things that's coming up. It's like a forest park or something. I think, Margaret, and I like a bit of space, but I think your shot is more there. And the reason being is it's holding me in better, and the fact that you can see all these little bits here. I would even highlight these little bits down the bottom corner here. Try and brighten those up just a little bit so that you get a separation. At the moment, they're merging with what you've got. But just darken that or lighten those up a little bit so you can see them. But yeah, it just goes to show how close they are working together. Great shot. The only thing I would do, if you, I know you're good on Photoshop, do you move these poles at the back? I don't know. They're just a little bit there, and perhaps maybe, and even just put a little bit more grit into the sky, just to give it that punchy sort of atmosphere. But it's a great shot. Well done. And I love this one, and I don't. I love it, and I don't. I love the concept. Very intelligent placement of objects, Margaret. The only thing, as I felt, is it's so tight in the bottom corner. But I love the fact that you've got the red plant pot, the terracotta there. You've got the beautiful orange, which is a complementary, and you've got the red. Now, I noticed that the orange had bled onto the red, which I don't mind because it shows it's all part of it. But would I add just a little bit more space? I think I would. It's just like it's falling off the edge. I'll see what it does on here. 1 second. Oh, it's beta. Come on. So my question is, I've got to move you out of the way. There we go. Do I, or can I just add a little bit more to give it a bit more breathing space? Expand, generate, see what happens. And I'll take it back. Come on. Come on, Firefly. Come on. Taking a bit longer today. Wow, come on, it's only orange. Oh, come on, they don't normally take this long. Oh, this is painful, I'm sorry. It's taking so long. I've got no control over Firefly, I'm afraid. Ah, there we go. Command S, Command W, and tab back into Lightroom. So that was our picture. We'll see what happens when it comes through. And then I looked at this one, Margaret, and I feel that it's too cramped. And I think there's more to it than that. It's very, very difficult because you've sent them as JPEG, so I can't see what you've done with them or what's. But I think the stems, it's not up to your top quality that you normally do. I did look at it and I did see what happens if I expanded it slightly. I hadn't got the full image, but I got a feeling that there is more to this than just that crop there. Is it that it needs to have more, it should be in portrait? And so I did it in portrait and added a little bit more at the bottom, and it put this seed on the bottom. Why hasn't that come through? This is getting frustrating today. It's there. It's supposed to have gone through. Go away. It's come through. So let's put these side by side. And I just feel, Margaret, it just wanted that. I don't know. I do actually like it more, and I look at the other right. I've probably done too much. Being tight in the corner, it makes you feel on edge, and it's edgy. Whereas the one on the left, it's got a bit more space, it's more relaxed. No, I think you may be right. It might be better tighter, but it's close. I don't know all your opinions, whether you like it tighter or not. I just felt it's a little bit on the bottom, but I think that added to the tension of the shot, even though it's more artistic. But yeah, I love it. I think it's a great, well spotted. People say, oh, it's Photoshop. No, it's not. I think you've spotted this, Margaret, and I think you've done very well with it. Let's get rid of that. So, yeah, I weren't sure about the poppies. I think you've got stronger shots than that. You've done more on poppies, and I just felt that it may wanted a bit more. One of the things, remember, when you're doing poppies that I told you all about is that use a polarizer, because you get this fine suede effect on the flower and you get white spots. Now, you haven't got much here, but when you put the polarizer on, you'd be amazed how much detail appears on the poppies, which is quite impressive. So, yeah, 3 good shots, but I love that one. I think that's great. You could put that in a frame and put it on a wall, and people would love to see that day after day. Okay, now Bob's not here today, but he wanted to get involved, so I asked him to send some pictures. I don't know if we all know, Bob loves to follow the cycling. He does a lot for the ladies cycling. I think he's their photographer now. Couple of things that I spotted on Bob's pictures, which it's good, is there is a common theme where I think he's possibly overcompensating for grain. But I could be wrong, I need to talk to him. But this is his first picture, and it's a great shot. Good position. I don't know how he got there, but great position. Look at all the people's arms banging on the sides and cheering him on. And I just felt, should he be bullseye? Should he not? So I just stuck him to one side, changed the aspect slightly, to try and give him that feeling he's going to turn, or she, or whatever, going to be turning more around towards my right, their left. But I was just concerned, he sent the picture as an an enhanced image, and I think it's done through denoise, but I've got, let me just get rid of that. Oh dear, I'm trying to get rid of that. Get her. The finish on the legs looks a little bit plasticky. And I'm not sure, because it's an enhanced picture, but it's done. So I think he's done the denoise on it, and I think he's just gone a little bit too far, and it just got a little bit too plastic. And I don't know what's just happened to this. Oh yeah, it's come back on now. So on the leg, as you can see, it's a little bit. And now, granted, it's wet, but there's this strange artifacting coming around the legs, on the edges. Got a black line forming around the edges, and this waxy look on the legs and arms. So I could be wrong, and Bob's not there. We haven't got the sound anyway, but I think it's saying enhanced NR, noise reduction, thousandths of a second at 2,500. I think maybe it's just a little bit too much, but I could be wrong. What I did as well on this image, I just put a little bit of vignette around to draw my eye back to the person, to try and focus my eye on the person, draw my eye, keep it on the picture. Same with this one. Great shot. Come on, computer, keep up. Great shot, isn't it? Great facial expressions. And again, it looked almost, not like a cartoon, almost artistic. And I'm not sure, because I believe this one hasn't had the image thing on, but I just took some of the colour out of it and darkened the background. I just felt it's a brilliant shot, Bob, absolutely brilliant. But it just looked a bit, it might be that I see, you know, the costumes, the suits they're wearing is just like that. It's just really strong. I don't know, I just feel it's a little bit like when you do portraits too much and the skin looks a bit waxy and soft. But I need to talk more to Bob and understand what he's doing, and I will have a look further at that. But great shot, Bob. Yeah, great. Yeah, cross the line, whatever it is, the team together, I'm not sure. Then he sent this image. I think you've all seen this one now, the 46. When I looked at this from Bob's picture, it almost looked like wood than metal. It looks like got grain off of wood, and I believe it's all metal. I don't understand the sculpture's idea of the two propellers with that style as opposed to that style. I don't understand. I think sometimes these artists get a little bit carried away with their artistic license, which is a shame, because I think it's a phenomenal history with this aeroplane. And I don't understand why in this day and age they've got so many supports underneath that is more dominant and more brighter than the actual structure. So I'm a little bit unsure about what the sculpture was doing, or the person that's designed this is doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different pieces of metal holding that up. I just think it's a bit OTT personally, and I'm sure they could have done better. As for the image itself, I liked it. I wasn't sure about the crop. It's just on a square crop, and then I had a quick look and I thought, well, it's a DNG, and that's his original shot. He did it as come back, and that was the shot he took. And I wasn't too bothered about that. I thought it was pretty reasonable. The only thing I wanted to do is to try and give it some drama. So what I did, and this was very quick, Bob, so my apologies, but I decided to make it look a little bit more slightly artistic and stronger. So I darkened off the sky. I pulled in 1 or 2 of the shadows. And the only thing I couldn't understand about some of this shot is this here. And I noticed on Bob's images that there is quite a lot of chromatic aberration. And I don't understand why. It's got a really good strong nick on camera, but you can see we've got the magenta and the cyan edges on the here. And I noticed on quite a few of his images that he's got this. It's same here. I'm going to go in a little bit further. I'm going to go 500 or 800. You can see we've got this cast, and we're getting this line. So I had to check in that the denoise was on, so that's one, and it made it worse. So I thought to myself, well, is it on the lens correction? So I put remove chromatic aberration, and it made it even worse. So I need to understand, Bob, from you, and I will look at this with you. I'm going to go to manual, and I'm going to find this edge, and I'm going to see. It said it can't find the fringe. So I'm going to find it for it. I'm going to back that off, and I'm going to back this one off. And I think what's happened is, Bob, and I'm trying to find the edge with this gone. It's leaving a slight line behind. I still can't get rid of that one. If I go too far, it'll look silly. So I'm going to keep coming back. I'm trying to find that sweet spot. I've got rid of that one, but I've got the green back now. And if I do that, I don't want to go too far. There, it's gone. So I've got it. So there's quite a range on this thing. I've got rid of it complete now. So before and after. Before and after. So I need to look at your thing, Bob, and find out what lens you're using and if there's anything I can help, because it's on quite a few of your images. It's on this one as well. I did it on here and I backed it off on here, but you can see it's leaving a bit of a ghosted line. It might be the characteristic of that lens you're using. As Roger knows, when I did one of Roger's lenses, we did a calibration on Roger's lens, and on one of them we got to 300, and Roger couldn't even get a focus, and I think they replaced his lens and it was a lot better. But I can definitely see a line appearing around some of these images. But I went for this image in the end. I just wanted to see, add a little bit to it, oh, 100%, as opposed to that one that looked a bit too bright. So I don't know whether you all agree. Let's have a look at two images. That was the two images. I just thought the one on the right is just a bit more dramatic. I lit the plane up a little bit more because I felt the image on the left looked a little bit flat. And sure enough, when I looked at the histogram on that image was also quite narrow. So I thought, yeah, good shot. So there, look, it's narrow band, no highlights, very little shadows. So I expanded that to bring it out some more, to make it a little bit more dramatic. Now this is one shot, and I want to spend a bit more time on this, but I won't do it today because I want to go through these other things and look at the pictures. That was Bob's original photograph he took, and he did that to it, which I felt was okay. But it just lacks me, and I think the sky, there's something to it, and I think there's a good image on here, and I'm not 100% sure that quick time how I could do this, but I did notice that the light, whether it was a time of day, look, you got light in some areas and dark shadows on all these metal structures. But I think the orange of the metal is good, but it looks a little bit too tangerine-ish. Could be wrong. Maybe it wants to be a little bit more brown than the orange, so I'd have to do it back. But I haven't got time. But I think, Bob, together we can work on this. So I think these images that we're not sure of, I think we should all work together on looking at an answer for them, working with them and talking through so we can all have a little input to where we all feel this should be. And the question is, do we remove some of the supports, like the one at the back here, just here? Do we remove that one? Because to me it's just annoyingly wrong, which is a shame, but it's a great structure. Okay, let's have a look at Roger. I'm watching time because I do want to show this video and it lasts for 10 minutes. Roger's gone artistic. I think I believe this one may be from down Leicester, I'm not sure. It's a great, interesting image, Roger. Bit flat, covered a good tonal range, but the mid-tone just wants picking up, and I think to do that, we'd have to do it in the tone curve here. Just pull it up a little bit. But yeah, it's an amazing shot. You've got old, new, mixture of graffiti. It's a place that nobody wants, but they're going to do something with it. It'd be interesting to see what they do, because I don't know what the building is on the right. Is it going to be houses? Is it flat? Or is it offices? But to face all this on the other side, which some people like graffiti, it's okay, but it's not to everyone's taste. I did take a little bit of colour out of it. That's your other shot, I believe, Roger, which you got more of the bridging. I like the idea of what you're doing with the sky. It gives it a bit more dramatic effect. Makes it more grungy, and does it make it feel that the area is unloved and unwanted, and it's a dark area that people have taken over? I'm not sure. But it was a good one. Interesting. One of those images you go back 10 years from now and see it completely different. Then he tried his artistic eye on this one. Now then, Roger, what happened here? Idea, but This is not as good as you normally do. 100 lines, 1/4 of a second. And look, you've got camera shake. So the concept was there, the idea was there. This bit is quite bright either side, so you might have to bracket it because you're going under a darker area to brighter light. So the dynamic range of the image is more than that your camera can cope with. So it may have been that you could have probably done a couple of bracketed shots and then tried to pull the shadows out. I'm not sure, but the concept's there. I actually very quickly looked at cropping on this as a pattern. Let me just take the padlock off on here, but it was that bright bit at the sides that killed it. So one, it's handheld shot 1/4. Remember what we said about we can't always take a tripod with us. Before I had my dicky ticker, we talked about with Linda carrying heavy stuff around, and we said, well, with all the technology nowadays, you can get away with pushing the ISO better. And if in doubt, put your camera on auto ISO. At least you'll get a shot. And the worst case is you might have to do a bit of denoising, but at least you get a shot. So 1/4 of a second, 100 lines, I must look at my shutter speed. I must look at my shutter speed. Okay, but good concept, but didn't quite work for you. I looked at this one and I thought it has a lot of value, a lot of interest, but, and again, did not work you put on here, which is interesting. I think that what you've got is a mismatch of mergers. Obviously, you need to keep his foot in. You've got the clock tower in the middle. I'll just get my drawing pen on. This bit is merging, so it's with this trees and that's all coming together. I think you could do something with this, yes. Could you have done better on site? Yes. Put them both together would have made a good picture. I believe it would have done, yes. I think what you've got is a conflict of interest between the subject here and the church, and you've got a face that's just happened to be sitting right under the gravestone. You've got some red bits here. I think, you remember what I said about statues? We can take it to a recorded event and just say, oh, it's a statue, or we can go somewhere and look up, possibly looking up this way into the face, into this facial area here. From down here would have given us a better shot. If you extend this, which I think you can do in Photoshop, and get it, his foot will come back on because it's very clever. You could also look at, I'll just get rid of all the drawings. You could get it in develop module. I'll come out of crop. Close that off. I think, oh, come on, computer, kick in. Oh dear. Bang, got it. It was that working. I think that you could find the subject or person. Well, I'll have a look, see what we do subject. See if it finds it. It's found it, and we can brighten it up so it stands away from the trees more. So already now I've got a separation between that and the foreground and the background. Add a bit of clarity on it, maybe. Bit of dehaze to strengthen it. Probably go the other way with the dehaze so it's more of a silver statue. And already you've got a separation. The other thing is, of course, we want to try and, these trees are masking this building, the clock. You might have to just hide the clock. I'm going to just stick a bit of cornering effect on this because I like to do it, just to hold the corners in. I think if you'd backed off a little bit more, you got a bit more from the image, but I think the position of the church and the subject, there's too much going off, there's conflict there. There is definitely some work you could do in there. We could get rid of this sign to the left because we've got this sword sticking out at one point here, and we've also got this bit here. You could quite easily remove that, and then you wouldn't get a conflict of interest between the two either. And same with this post here, look, any little bits around the edges. But yeah, you've just, the most important bit, you've lost the foot. But I would have gone possibly for a different angle and probably gone from down here, whoops, Change colour. Gone from down here looking up into the face probably. Let's see what happens that way. Walk around like we did in Newark that day. Find an object, walk around it, take it from different pictures. Take 10 images. Walking around doing different things. But yeah, good one. Let's look at this one. Do you know, I love this, and I've seen images sit very similar to it, and you're on the winner here, apart from one thing, and this is another image we're going to work at in the next few weeks. I think we're going to do this. We want somebody walking past him. We want something to connect him, the door, and the size and everything, to give it some perspective. And I think somebody over on this right-hand side where it's darker, not the door side, because you've got the blue of his shirt, but you've got a bit more space on the right. We could even create a little bit more space, but you want a connection. There's a great story in his face. We want something, some juxtaposition to add to it to go, wow, and you look at them both and you look in this connection. And I think there's a lot of merit in this shot. And I think we should work on this. I think this can end up being an exceptionally good shot. So I'm going to leave that one. I'm not doing any work on it. I'm going to do it together. Okay? Right, let's have a look at Ron's. Let's have a look what time we are. I've got to keep that last 20 minutes. I'm looking at Ron's pictures. Now, Ron put on one of them. I think, it was Tony, about the sky. That was it. I like this, Ron. There's a couple of things I don't like about it, and it could be that it's just me. Just go to development. I've got a cat walked in. We're going to get a cat walk across the screen in a minute. I like it. I think it's the crop format, the crop ratio. Oops, what's happened? There you go. I just wanted more to the right. That rock bottom corner rock, wanted to be in it more. The foreground to the left here, meow, go away. Put a red one on so we can see it, or an orange. One moment. This, I can't see it on this, it's going to have to be red. This area here at the bottom is important because you've got it in the bottom corner, but it's out of focus, and that's out of focus. And I'm looking at your thing, you've gone for f8, which is fine, but you've got your, we call it hyperfocal distance. Your focus point is somewhere about here. And the problem being is you've got 1/3 in front and 2/3 behind. But you're using at the moment a 27mm lens, which should really give you more foreground. So your probably focus point might be back there even. And I just feel that it just wanted the foreground in focus, and I wanted more space to the right, because the river's coming from the right, and it's just like you've cropped all the entry to the river off here. So I'd want to see a bit more. So you've got a wide angle lens, you could be even wider. I believe you've cropped this personally, because looking at a wide angle lens that you've used, I think that you have cropped this off. It's an f 24 to 105. I think you should see a little bit more than that. I'd like to see the original of this one. And you might say that, Gary, that is the original. But I just feel it's just missing something, and I can't see a crop. So could be wrong. Love this next image. I think this has got such a lot of character to it. Let me just get rid of these drawings. I think you've cropped this, which you have. I'm just going to close that off. I think it's great. Could it be better? Yes. I think it's got an amazing potential to be an incredible photograph. You've done well. You've not done through the middle. You're slightly close to the middle in the sense that you're, you get the pen, your horizon's through the middle, but it's not, because you've got this valley effect. So you've got away with it. I love the fact that these sort of images, and I notice you have cropped it off, you've cropped some of the bottom off, because I think, yeah, there's a lot of grass there. I think you've cropped it to there, which is right. Do we take a bit off the sky as well? And I'm doing this very, very quickly. Sky. I'm going to darken off this sky a little bit. I want to brighten up the whites. And then, of course, I want to do and I'm doing this too quick, interconnect with colour range, blue. And I'm going to darken that off a bit more so the sky's a bit darker. And then this bit in the middle here, you've got this ultraviolet haze, which is fine, but it's also looking like the ultraviolet haze in the sky. So the separation between the sky and here are almost totally the same. And I think with a bit more help, this image could change dramatically. I think the green is very much man green, we call it. Might want just pulling back a little bit. But I think on this background here, and I'm going to do it very quickly with dehaze. It'll let me do this. 1 second. If I use dehaze, I'm still on the mask, my apologies. I'll just put that colour back down. Let's come out of there, come back to here. And let's just go for basic, and I'm just going to just pull the dehaze to see what happens to the mountain. See, I think that that mountain, I'm ignoring this bit at the front, I think that that mountain there can look a little bit more contrasty, can look a bit more grittier, and I think I'm ignoring the rest of the picture on, I'm just looking through to this in the background. I think that, and pulling back some of the blue in there, I think this image could be quite dramatic. Even to the point I looked at it and I thought, could it be a good black and white? Because the tonal range of the vegetation is all similar colour, it was struggling, but you could paint that in. But I think it's a beautiful shot. I think it can be even stronger, and I honestly believe that this is the one we can all work on as well together. What about this one? Yeah, what went wrong? Depth of field, focus. You got a sign in the middle. It's a case you got to walk around, like we did Rogers, walk around the statue until you find the right place. It might be that the whatever that's in the background, something of career, or whether it's pronounced Scottishly, is a link to it. So do you leave that in? Do you put it so a foot, which is here, she's over here, so that the writing is over here? But definitely we need to look at getting in focus. So that's a focal issue. You've got it at 7.1, 7/6 of the second, but it's just focused here, not on here. Could you recover it? Don't think you can. I've seen 1 or 2 software things that say you can get a blurred image and make it good. I don't think so. But you can see the concept. I don't think you've cropped it wrong. I'll just check. It's a DNG. No, you've not cropped it. So, but yeah, just quick shot and you missed it. I love this one. This looks like, I was going to tell you. See, I've been away from Newark, Farndon. I've been away from Newark too long. I left my boat just somewhere down there once. When I first bought my first boat, and I walked my dad and my mum down here and said, oh, look at this boat down there, this is nice, look at this boat. And I'd look inside, my dad said, don't go near it, it's not. I said, oh, but look in here, come and look in it. And I got in the boat and he's going, get out, what are you doing in the boat? You can't do that. I said, but look at it, look at it. I bet the engine sounds good, and I fired it up. And then he realised that I'd been up to something. But yeah, remember that day. Can't beat family, can you? But I love this, Ron. I think there's a little bit more in the sky. I love the placement, what you've done. Tonally, you've caught it good. Look at the histogram. Absolutely wonderful. I would, since you've got 1/3 of the sky in it, do something with it. Put a bit of a grad on there. Pull the detail out. Because look, you've got lots of drama in the clouds here. And then you've got this milky sort of soft sky. So I think you need to bring those two together. And I can see ways to do it. The shadows down here won't just pull up a little bit, because that's where some of the story is. And I can't quite see what I'm looking at there. I don't want to do it on everything. So it'd be a case that we'll, oops, didn't quite get rid of the marker. I think it wants to be brought up, but then the other part of it brought back down. So I think pull the highlights back down. I'm doing this. I would do this with masking, definitely, because it makes it look HDR. But I think we need to bring this bit up on the right-hand side. But again, brilliant picture. I think this is very good. Let's have a look at the last bit because I want to show you a couple other things as well. We're looking at now, I think it's Tony's. Here we go. I thought it was very clever, this Tony. This is in the butter market, I believe. You're looking down. Do you know the only thing that's missing is somebody sat on one of those things. I love the fact that somebody sat in here. When I saw this, I thought, oh, look, you've got somebody in here. But you can't see the face position. Then I suddenly thought, well, I can't see it. But then I suddenly thought, oh, look at that. So I think what we could do with this Tony, we're going to use a bit of AR. We're going to put somebody sat in one of these tables. Somebody drinking a glass of wine or something. But I'm going to bring these two people that are in there, lighten them up a little bit. But I like it. I think it's a good journalistic shot. I like this. Let's look at this next one. Excuse me a minute while I just get rid of the drawings. I think this is Derbyshire, and I think this is Kerbereja somewhere. It looks like there's stone on there. I'm just, you've probably done this and you've not shown it, but I think we need to do something with the sky. And again, we're back to very quick develop. We can put a linear gradient on here very, very quickly. And I'll have to do better than this, just to pull that sky so my eye don't go underneath it. Get rid of that, and I'm looking at the tone of the picture just to warm it up. But I think there's something in here. I need more time to do it because we can do the colour range, pick up these trees to give it more contrast. Certainly pick up this bit at the bottom. I'm going to just see if I can create a new mesh very quickly. Brush down here, put a big brush. I'm going to come across here very quickly, and I think we'd just brighten that up a little bit, just a bit, and I'd warm it up to give that Derbyshire stone a feel. I think there's definitely something in here, Tony. It just wants a little bit extra work. The village down here, I think this is Froggatt. I think if I remember right, there was that Froggatt to the right, and this one isn't Kerber. I think that's Kerber and that's Froggatt. I could be totally wrong. It might be Scotland, who knows? But I think that what you've captured there is good. You've got a great depth field, but there's something that's not pulling it together. So I need to look at that more with you. Let's look at this one. This looks like the other side of the Fiskerton. If I remember right, it's Fiskerton. Good. I like it. I just feel that there's a lot of that sky that's not needed. That to me is a better shot. But it's a lovely shot, lovely colours. I think the sun's low. I think it's end of the day. It could even be the golden hour. I don't know, it's your group the other side, but it's people walking down. Adds a bit of interest to it. But I love it. I love the colours. I love how you've used the bush on the right-hand side to block it and hold it in. You've got a similar on the other side. You've got obviously the side of the waterway there, leading you down to the boats, which are all pointing towards you, and you've got this white building. It's a bit of a shame that gantry's there. It's been there for donkeys. It always looks a bit messy, but yeah, you've got this lovely house or cafe and then the pub, and it's just spoilt by that bloody old gantry. Want to paint it, make it look nice. But again, great shot. Yes, just take the top off, Tony. Again, just a little bit more, add a bit of detail in the clouds so they just got something. Now, you mentioned this about the big sky. I think this is one of those you said, oh, you weren't sure about. I'm intrigued as to where you took this picture from. Because I think you took it through a car window or something. There's something about it. And the reason being is, I don't understand this bit. And I pity I've not got the sound on. That looks like a sun visor. And I'm not sure how you took that, Tony, to be honest. Again, it's one of those pictures. I love the fact that we've got this on here. You've got this big, bold sky. You've got it, it's a TIFF image, so you've done something with it, and I can't see what you've done. So I would like, Tony, if you could send me the original image of this, the DNG or whatever, not the TIFF, so I can see what's done, because I can't see, I've gone through what you've done. There's no changes. So I'd like to know, because this is the image that I think you said, can I look at? I would need to see the original image. But it's got something in it. It's got a big bold sky, but what we've got to do is make use of that sky. We've got to pick out the clouds, pick up the details, and work from there. But yeah, I'm intrigued with this line appeared. It looks like you shot it through your car window. I could be wrong, Tony. Could be totally wrong. I'm going to come out of here. I'm going to come out of here. Let's have a look. Am I wrong, Tom? I'm going to pull you a lot back onto my main screen so I can see you all. 1 second. Hide Lightroom. And then get rid of Photoshop so I can see you all. Just pulling you all back on. Am I right, Tony? Did you take it through? Thumbs up if you have. Did you take it through a car window or? Not sure. He's not sure. Yes. Thumbs up. He's going to run away. Okay. I'm going to show you something else. I'm just looking at critiquing things. I'm just going to pull this onto here. 1 second. This new Zoom workplace, they changed this interface and then you have to pick it up and see how it works. I'm just going to make that smaller. And I'm going to find what I've just done with that image. It went off the edge of my screen onto the other back screen. I'm going to play this. I hope it'll play. And we're talking about where you would like to go with your photography. Now, I believe that what we're doing is for our own benefit and our own pleasure. I know Margaret likes to enter competitions and Linda does too. But generally speaking, I think we do it because we enjoy it. However, it's where it's going. And I know Margaret will have problems and nobody will be honest. And it's happening here as well, that people are using AI and it's got nothing to do with what they've done. Now, it's 2 quick videos. I'm going to show you one. Hopefully I've got enough time. Have a look what I like for time. Yeah, I've got enough time. There's 2 videos. I'm sorry I haven't got the sound on. Oh, I am getting it from Judy. Judy, I've got no pictures from you, Judy. I had 1 shot of you, I think, of a dog, but I couldn't open it. It just kept saying incomplete image or something on it. But I've only got that 1 image. So if you've got some images, you want to send them through, then I'll do that next week before we start the class. But I've only got that 1 image and it wouldn't open up properly. They were sent. Never mind. I've got nothing. I think Louise, you sent something I hadn't got them, but then they came through the second time. So that might be just WeTransfer. Sorry, Judy, I've not seen. If you can we'll resend them and we'll look at those next week when we open them. Okay. AI, where's it going? Now, I'm going to start this off, Roger, then you might have to just shout up and tell me if you can see this image, just in case it doesn't play properly. Or Louise can send me a message if you can say it's not playing, Gary, or it is playing. Share sound. This is this guy talking about where we're going on AI and photography. Let me play it.
Honestly, I didn't think it would be this quick, but Google just released their newest model, and it's so incredible. I can't think of any reason why a commercial client will ever hire a photographer again. Why would you pay somebody to create an image that might not turn out that great and is definitely going to take weeks or months to arrive when you can generate as many iterations as you want online, instantaneously, with real people or fake people, with your product looking exactly like it does in the real world, all for no money at all. Let me show you how incredible and horrifying software is. Now, for the last year or two, I feel like the winner in the image generation game has been Midjourney. I've been paying $30 a month for this software, and it's incredible. It can create images that are absolutely beautiful instantaneously. The problem with Midjourney and every other AI image generator has been that it's so difficult to get real products or people or subjects into those AI-generated images. This is my hot sauce brand, Olivium. Here you can see I uploaded a picture of my hot sauce bottle and box, and I said, hey, put this on a table, Midjourney. And as you can see, it just does very strange stuff in every single picture. Some of them, it gets close to leaving the bottle the way it is, but even this isn't quite right, and it's doing weird things with the letters. So obviously, none of this is going to work. But as you can tell, we're getting close. Like, I can see this and I can guess, all right, maybe we're a year or two away from AI being able to do everything, but my job is safe for another year or two. Not anymore. If you go to aistudio.google.com and click on Generate Media, you will see Try Nano Banana, which is also called Gemini 2.5 Flash Image. If we click on this here and we click on the plus button, we can upload a file. And here I have my bottle on white. This is my professionally photographed bottle with perfect lighting, perfect editing. And then you can type whatever you want. I put this bottle on a fancy table at a modern restaurant, and we hit Run Prompt. And here we go. There it is. And there goes my career.
Very interesting, isn't it? And going back to Margaret as well, Margaret, you're not trying to tell me that somebody at the photography class, bear in mind, the next video I'm going to show you very quickly, Adobe's just taken on that company and put it in Photoshop. So what you're seeing now, these guys having to send it up to there, on your latest beta version, if you look at beta, and by the way, I've got the sound back, so you can shout and I can talk to you, Tony. It's now this, what he's showing you, is just been released in the beta version of Photoshop. So they've taken Bananas on as also Firefly 3. So they've got two new generated fills. I'll play a bit more.
You might be saying, well, Lee, you still had to photograph the bottle and get the perfect lighting and the best Photoshop, and the average person will never be able to do that, so they're still going to have to hire you to do that. Well, let's put that to the test. I have opened a new instance of Google AI Studio here, and I am going to click the plus button, upload file, and now I am going to upload an image of my hot sauce bottle that I took with my iPhone right here on this table. So no professional lighting, no professional camera at all. And I am going to put the exact same prompt in. So I would say this is a very believable shot here. I don't think it looks quite as professional, but, and they put weird leaves on the table, but I don't think the average person would ever pick this out as AI. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to click on edit, and I'm going to add, and the bottle is on fire. And I will start that going, and I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other image. I feel like we got decent results here. And this one, I think this one actually looks better, and this is the one with the iPhone picture. All right, let's do another test here. This bottle dressed as a king wearing a crown, sitting on a throne in a castle. And we'll come back over here, and once again, I will upload the image from my iPhone, and we will use the exact same prompt. All right, so here is the one with the professional image. I feel like it's done everything I asked. However, it didn't do the best job of making the bottle look like it's really in the scene. There's a white balance issue. The bottle is very white, and the background is very warm. So that needs to be fixed. Let's check out the iPhone version. And once again, I feel like the iPhone version looks better than the professional version. I don't know, it gave it hands, but again, I feel like this actually looks better than my professional shot. Next up, woman's hands holding this bottle in front of her while she is wearing a sleeveless cocktail dress in a fancy restaurant. Go. We have the correct amount of fingers. The nails look a little AI-y, but still very impressive. That looks perfect. Now I'm going to upload two images. I'm going to upload the picture of my bottle and then a product shot that my buddy Brian Rogers Jr. did for Fireball. All right, here is what Google has made. It looks unbelievable. Does it look as good as the original? No. Brian Rogers is an amazing photographer. I like his better. However, we are very close. And just remember, guys, they are updating this stuff every few months. This is the worst it will ever be from here on out. And this is incredible. All right, let's see how the iPhone one looks. Very different. Interesting. The bottle looks much more realistic, less professionally lit. I think I prefer the professional one here, but still incredible result, especially for a picture taken with my phone. So I've been using just simple images of the bottle itself, but I also have a box here and I have a few different shots. I wrote this product on a table with roses. Look how good that is. That is unbelievable. So for these two bottles, I wrote these two bottles sitting next to a chef's hands making professional fancy food. This looks perfect. But of course, this won't just destroy product photography. This will destroy all commercial photography. Why would any company hire a photographer that's going to charge thousands of dollars and have to hire models and it's going to take weeks to produce these images when they can just generate models instantaneously online for free? I'm going to go back over to Midjourney here. I just told it to show me images of models standing outside. Each one of these shots looks fantastic. Let's just grab this girl right here and we will save this. All right, so I'm back in Google now. I uploaded a picture of a white dress and our fake model here, and I wrote, make this girl standing outside, full body in nature, wearing a white sleeveless dress. And here it is. And that looks freaking amazing. Look at the detail that it got off of this dress. It did it perfectly. Now, I don't love the background, so I'm going to add in the forest. And we're going to run this one more time. And here we go. Looks amazing. All right, here is a picture of my ugly cat. Let's upload this. I said, make a professionally lit and photographed image of this cat sitting in a luxurious chair. Looks totally real. Nobody would guess this is fake. And it looks just like my cat. All right, remove the collar. And there we go. Perfect result. So
if you're creating content that stands out, you're not looking for just music.
An advert.
You are looking for great content.
Go away. Nearly there.
So by this point, you probably understand just how incredible this model is. On one hand, this is super exciting. I mean, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And on the other hand, this is wildly depressing for me because I've spent the last 2 decades perfecting photography, lighting, Photoshop, design, and basically all of these skills that I've dedicated my life to feel like they're absolutely worthless now. Why would anyone pay to hire me to make this stuff when they can generate it all for free? Why would I even take these pictures when I can do it more easily and in many cases get better results by just generating it for free online? And this has also got me thinking, what is going to happen with all of these AI companies? I don't see how any of them will ever be profitable because they've all spent billions of dollars building these data centers to create these models. The second one of them creates something that's amazing that people like me are willing to pay for, like Midjourney, then the next one comes along and creates something a little bit better and just gives it away for free. So on one...
So now I've got sound back on, I think. Tony, can you hear me all right?
So I can hear you. Do you hear me?
I did have sound on. I could hear you talking a while ago. Okay.
Hello.
Just turn the volume right up.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now, Tony, at all?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Tony's speaking, but I've still got nothing. Okay. I did have sound because I could hear you all talking to me. But anyway, we'll see. So where does this take us? So from our point of view, what can we do with this? And of course, he just said, where do people make the money from? Well, this is where they're making the money from, and I'll just pull it over because Adobe liked the product so much that they decided that, you know what, I think I will now have this product and put it in Photoshop. So this is what Adobe have just done, and Photoshop Cafe has just released this video, and I'll put it on, and this is what now they're doing with Photoshop. I have to get rid of the closed captions, otherwise you don't have to see it.
So now you've heard of Nano Banana. Now it's in. Adobe's just integrated Nano Banana into.
No sound. Why have we got no sound this time? This is getting frustrating. Sorry, guys.
Photoshop Beta. Check it out right now, and then come back at the end, and I'll give you my thoughts.
So maybe you've heard of Nano Banana. Now it's in Photoshop, and it's able to turn this into this.
Right, sorry, I found out it's to do with Zoom. It's just come up with a conflict error, so let me just play it again for you.
Tips, and I'm even going to show you how to combine images in it. The first thing you need to know is it's only available inside Photoshop Beta.
If we go to the Creative Cloud,
Yeah,
Click on
it's
apps,
come up with
you'll
a
see
conflict
beta.
on Zoom.
Download the
Sorry,
Photoshop
one
beta.
second. I'll just try one last
Okay,
thing.
so in order to activate it, what you need to do is you need to make a selection. So why don't we select the subject, which is going to be this woman, and we're going to inverse it. So you can inverse it by
It
clicking up
should.
there
It's
or
saying
choosing
be okay
promotion.
now.
I just chose invert
So,
selection.
Louise, you've
from the
got a link to
contextual
the
taskbar.
phone. Can you hear the sound okay
So now you're going to
now?
hit generative fill. And this
Send me a
is
message.
just like working in Firefly with generative fill. However, we can change the models. And if we see FI, click on here, and you'll notice that we have Nano Banana, which is Gemini 2.5 made by Google.
Louise is
Now
not
it's
there.
activated here, and now we can use Gemini 2.5.
No banana. So let's
Oh,
change the background.
Yeah, so sorry.
Futuristic
Okay, you've just come
space
through. Okay, I'll do it again.
Right, let's do a
This is
futuristic
just
city from
quite
the
shocking
Vietnam
what he's
style.
doing next. One second.
And
So this is where he's
we have a
taking
city.
this
now
bananas
you'll notice
is
the
just
quality,
now in
in my
Photoshop.
opinion, is much better than what you're getting from Firefly. But what makes Nano Banana special?
Way it can preserve detail. So we could preserve this person and do different things. So right now she's clearly not dressed for that year. So why don't we grab the selection brush here, and we're going to use the, you'll see it under the lasso, the selection brush, and then we're going to paint over, in fact, let's make this much bigger. We're going to paint over all her clothes. And why don't we change this to something a little bit more futuristic? So we're just grabbing all of this, and don't worry about going over, because the areas we go over are going to be, they're just going to be fine. So let's change her outfit to a, so let's change it to futuristic space jacket. And notice we have the jacket, and it pretty much preserved her. If we want to look before and after, look at that. Didn't even really change her hair. But maybe we want to change her hair, so why don't we just make a selection around her hair. And let's just grab it all. And so one of the advantages in using Nano Banana in Photoshop is the ability to make these selections. And let's change the hair to something a little bit more futuristic. And there we go. So the only other thing is this tablet. Let's change the tablet, make a selection around it, just kind of paint over it roughly. And we're going to change this tablet to something clear glass. Let's change the tablet to clear glass with a glowing UI. Looks like we're missing a finger. So why don't we just see if we can get. Let's give her a cyborg hand. All right, so we've got a cyborg hand. So as you can see, it's able to generate very well. Now, one of the things you might have noticed is the resolution is really low. Things are looking very, very soft. So if we look here, there's her original face and original body. So it hasn't changed that, but some of these other areas you can see are very low. It's only about 1K resolution at the moment. All right, so let's go to something really simple, and I'm going to give you a really powerful tip, and then we're going to move into.
Can you still hear me, Tony?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Still got no sound. I've got a conflict on Zoom at the moment. I'll just see if I can get rid of it again. Oh, you can hear me. Okay, 1 second.
Anyone change a £20 note?
No, not 20.
You don't change for another one.
Let me see. I might be able to change it for 2 10s. I'm not sure.
That would be a help.
I'll give you 2 10s.
Yeah, that-
I'll play it again. Oh, lots of money being thrown around. That's good.
Yep.
I'll let you finish sorting your money out, and then I want to show you this next piece, which I feel is quite impressive. So tell me when you're ready again, Roger, when they're all ready to go. I want to just show them this bit. This is where Photoshop and this bananas is going to go one stage further. So this is an application. Ready? Okay. This is a typical application now that they're saying that you can use in Photoshop. So this is a standard shot of a young girl sat having a cup of coffee, and he's going to make it. And this is the scary bit now. He's going to recreate this as a new picture using her looking away in a totally different image. And this is
even more wild.
Unbelievable.
So why don't we just make a selection here around her?
So let's share screen again. Let's share it. Here we go.
Her hat. And we're just going to choose remove hat.
Oh, God damn it.
I know you've seen these AI ads.
And hit generate. Now this is the kind of thing that we would do with Firefly. Alright, so we removed the hat, and if we zoom in here, we can see it's pretty good, but notice this edge. But the texture doesn't quite match, right? I'm going to show you another way of doing this. So we're going to grab that selection brush again. And by the way, this is a great use case for the selection brush. And we're going to jump in here and we're going to take the hardness. We're going to take it all the way down. And then we're going to adjust this now with a softer edge. And this is the trick. You're going to get much better results now. Watch this. I hope. And there we go. We've removed the hat, and let's zoom in and notice the textures are definitely blending in a lot smoother. Here it is with the hard edge selection. Look at the edge. Look at the texture mismatch. And then here we go. There's still a texture mismatch, but as you can see, it just blends a little bit smoother when we're using that soft edge brush. Now, it's not perfect. There's little areas there where maybe I didn't brush that correctly. But if we want to see her with the hat, without the hat. So one of the strengths of Nano Banana is being able to reproduce a person and keep their likeness. So why don't we do that right now? Let's select everything, and then we're going to hit on Generative Fill. And let's see what happens if we pan the camera.
Now this is
to
the most
right.
interesting part.
And notice now we're
that?
looking down the same street. If we look at this before,
all they've done is
there's
taken
the wall,
that
there's
picture
the cafe.
and
Look at the
panned
types
it
of
to the
chairs.
right.
There's a croissant, and look at the women. If we look here, the croissant
I
has
think that
gone.
is
The
pretty
tables and
scary.
chairs are kind of similar. Let's have a look. Yeah. Same tables, same chairs, same woman. And just to see how well it does, let's just go back to the woman. And why don't we select just around her. And we'll change her expression. So we want her to look surprised, and we can see if we can keep someone that looks like the same person being surprised. Okay, maybe a little, it's not bad. I wouldn't say that's necessarily the same person, but let's try something else. And with that selection, let's use the selection brush, because that soft selection is going to look better, because as you noticed here, with the hard selection, yeah, it doesn't look good. So let's, I'm going to give it more space, because we're going to see if we can get her to turn her head and look the other way and see if it still looks like the same person. Looking other direction, and there we go. That's pretty wild. And, you know, yeah, it could pass for her. All right, let me show you something else that's quite interesting. And that's if we are here, and let me make a selection around the car. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the color of the car. Let's do something really wild like camo. Change car color to orange and white camo. Let's try this. And there we go. Look at that. Before and after. All right, so let's just take that off for now. And let's combine images and see how this works. All right, so let's choose the background here, and we're going to remove the background. And of course, this is a Photoshop feature. And now we've got the car. We're going to drag the car in and lightning striking the car. And look at that. Okay, we can even go further than that. Yep, believe it or not. Let's select the entire image.
What if we decide to go a little bit higher on this scene?
Yes, move
Change
this
the
out.
angle to a drone shot looking from above.
I'll bring you all back onto the screen. Well, I'm sorry that first day back I can't hear anybody speaking. I'll have to get in touch with Zoom and try and find out why I've lost sound. According to my sound, it's playing out through the speakers. I can watch the things going up and down. Everything appears to be working. I can try it through different speakers and it says it's working and I'm watching it. So my apologies. I don't understand why it's gone that way. I'll try and find out what it is for next week. What I'll do, you can't hear me at all now. Oh, for goodness sake, this is crazy.
We've got a message anyway.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh dear, this is getting crazy and crazy and crazy.
Only chat is down.
Oh, I put it back on this.
Tony chat is down.
Yes.
That's why.
Sorry, I didn't say that, did I? Okay, well, let's.
We may as well wrap it.
Can you hear me
Going.
now, Roger, at all?
Yes.
You can hear me now, okay?
Yeah.
What the hell is going wrong?
Right, Mr. Tony's.
Can you hear
I
me?
can't hear you, which is a tragic shame.
Yeah.
I'll have to try and find out what it was for next week. Okay, but yeah, you can see where AI is going. I don't think we'll ever go in that direction, but you'll have to give me some feedback whether or not you like that sort of thing, or you like this new banana thing that's been done. I think most of our photography will be done in Lightroom, and I think it'll be a lot better. So I'll put something together for next week. I think we'll look at a couple of those images. If Judy can also send me her images again, and so I've got a copy of them, and I'll have a look at those first thing. So I think until I can sort this out, we'll call that a day for today. And Roger's thumbs up, and I'll try and find out. Roger, what I might do, I'm going to close it off and then open it up again to see if it's just a bug in Zoom. Okay, so don't go away for a second. I'll close it all down and then I'll come back to you. I'm going to pause this so Bob's